Welcome, everybody, to our Co-optober event. That's right, it's time for Cooperative Petal Crash. Hope you guys are ready for some exciting games. It's a pretty different format we've got here today. Everyone is going to play the co-op mode. You get 2 attempts to get the highest score you can, and then you move on to your next partner and try to do the same with them. You can record your best score with all of the partners, and the winner will be whoever has the overall highest sum of scores. But it's a pretty cool format. It encourages people of all skill levels to get together and try their best and work together to take this game to the next level.
It's cool, co-operative.
That's right. So joining me on commentary today, we do have Ashley.
Hi,
She has made a video game or two, I hear.
I made this game Petal Crash, and co-op was my idea,
And
as
we
well as the rest of Petal Crash.
and joining myself and Ashley, we do have Jill.
Hello.
So I'll be leaning on
Jill
them.
helped a lot.
So we have a lot of games ahead of us today. Um, let's see. When you guys are playing your games, be sure to paste screenshots in the tournament channel so that we can, validate and update the bracket with your best scores.
I was in the tournament, but I dropped out so I could commentate instead. Because if you're in the tournament, you're playing constantly, and I wouldn't be like, okay, my game's done, and I can commentate.
Yeah, especially with the round robin format, you guys will probably all be pretty busy running from game to game. But we'll do this in waves. If you guys need to know where we are in bracket, we do have a command in chat. You can just go hashtag bracket and it will pull it up for you. So you can already see the first round of games, and shortly we will be calling those matches. So in the first round, we will be running Missing No with Decafumo Death Cult on stream.
Hey, should we be streaming the lobby now? It's still on the splash screen.
We can switch to the lobby, sure.
Sorry, don't mean the backseat. Yeah.
Cool. So if you guys need to know how to connect to the lobby, let me know. But all the details are in the Discord. You can go to the Puzzle Wednesday lobby. We have our usual password. We're just waiting for Missing No and Decafumo to come up. While we're waiting, Ashley, do you want to maybe describe the game mechanics in co-op
Oh yeah,
mode and the general flow of the game?
absolutely. So I'm just going to assume you have some basic familiarity with Petal Crash to
Oh,
explain co-op.
yes, yeah.
So Petal Crash is a puzzle game. You push blocks and they blow up. And okay, co-op is a unique cooperative mode. I remember somebody asked me to like come up with like some way of playing together that isn't competitive. I don't remember who, but I came up with this cooperative mode. And what it is, it's kind of like a time trial where you just try to get as many points as you can. And you and the other player are playing at the same time. You're both trying to get points together. But the big twist is that it's just like versus mode in that when you make a big chain, you still send garbage over to your partner. So if you play like really well, really aggressively, and try to get points, you're gonna bury your partner in garbage. So it actually requires a lot of like coordination and cooperation to make sure that if you're gonna do a big scoring chain, you have to make sure your partner is gonna be ready to counter or receive the garbage. And yeah, people have been playing it a bunch lately. Apparently, they think it's pretty interesting and deep, and now we're gonna do a whole tournament of it. And that's the explanation.
Cool. When you're playing this, what do you think about that's like different than the single player? Do you have to watch out for anything?
Well, there's garbage for one. Like, if you're just playing time attack, there's no garbage or anything, so you have to consider what your opponent. It's kind of like there is like a bit of an adversarial like element to it, in that the mechanics are the same as in versus mode, but you're trying not to win. Basically, you're trying to do as well as you can without like overgrowing the other person. So you have to sometimes deliberately slow down, even if you want to score lots of points. You can Something that's really popular is for both players to just like spend a bunch of time putting together the biggest, most ridiculous chain they can, and then you set them off at the same time so that the garbage mostly cancels out, and that you have a more empty board at the end. So there's like lots of things to consider. It's completely different from versus mode in that in versus mode, sometimes you want to put something together really quickly and send it when they least expect it, but in this mode, you have to send it when they're ready. So it's
Okay.
kind of turned on its head.
So you can't just go autopilot and spam out big attacks. You have to be very aware of your partner.
Absolutely. And another big thing is that this uses the same garbage rules as trash attack, which in the tug of war, when you take garbage, it comes as garbage spawners. But here, the garbage appears fully formed instantly, so it's really easy to get suddenly overgrown, especially if your board is full. So, yeah, it requires a whole lot more awareness of like your opponent's situation and your situation, and your partner, who is not your opponent. You're working together. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I came up with this co-op mode because I was thinking, like a combined time trial might be neat. You know, you're both playing and you're trying to get the biggest score together. But like, if there was no interactivity, it really wasn't any point to it existing. Like, you could just both play time trial, then add the points together, and it's like not even doesn't even make a difference what the other person does. So I was thinking about ways that you can interact, and like, oh, there's already a way that the players interact in this game. You send garbage over, so just leaving that in just made it a lot more interesting than just combining the scores together, of having to account for this like unexpected like mechanic of garbage coming in.
All right, we're just waiting for Missing No to come to the Puzzle Wednesday room.
Get in the room.
Yeah, he's holding us up. Everyone else, actually, you can feel free to start your round one matches. So if you need to know who your partner is, be sure to check out the bracket. But round one on stream, we will have Missing No and Decafumo.
There's Missing No. Missing No is not found now.
Okay, he's in this lobby. Let's go. As soon as Missing No can figure out which arcade cabinet to move to.
They're all the same except for the one on the far left. That one's cursed.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can spectate this.
Oh, Zach's
All
here. Hello,
right.
Zach. All right. We got our first match.
So this is kind of the first for everyone. I don't think any of us has ever commentated co-op before, because there's never been a competitive co-op scenario like this before.
Mm-hmm. So both players are trying to do their best to work together instead of like trying to overgrow each other. You're trying to do the opposite.
You gotta be good at the video game, but not too good at the video game.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least you can't be so much better than the video game, so much better at the video game than your opponent that you just do a
Like-
team kill.
So you'll notice that, like, Missing No on the right here has this huge chain put together, but he's not setting it off yet.
Okay,
Oh,
so we
well,
see Missing No
okay, well, I
cashed in
started it.
something. But it looks like Decafumo doesn't really have anything to counter it, right? So he's gonna...
Yeah, but... Uh-oh. This is gonna be bad.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. That's a lot of instant drop garbage. Oh.
See, that's the really tricky thing with
Hmm.
co-op.
So has
Is
anyone
that-
told Missing No this is a cooperative tournament, right? Not a versus tournament.
But this is why we get 2 tries. If you just set off your biggest chain and your partner doesn't have anything to counter it and is not ready, then you're gonna have a bad time.
So you kind of have
Because
to move at...
co-op rules. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so it seems like you have to move at the slowest speed, like the lowest common denominator sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because
I did-
as opposed to like the normal rules in co-op, when you have garbage coming at you, the next time that garbage would drop, you see it falls instantly instead of putting down garbage spawners.
Hmm.
So it's very dangerous to send garbage to your opponent if they're not, or to your partner. I'm saying it too. If they're not ready for it at that exact moment, it can be very bad.
Oh, looks like Decafumo finally dug out their big chain.
Okay, but
Oh,
And
Missing
apparently.
No
Missing No
needs
has
to
something
set
to
something
answer it.
off. Okay, there we go. There we go.
See, that's co-op
Okay, see
play
there.
there.
That's
Oh,
the
that's a
perfect,
pretty good
almost
offset.
perfect co-op.
Right, like
Cancel
just-
out all but one.
Nice.
I didn't want to... Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. But I guess Missing No was still bigger. Or something. Where did that garbage come from? Huh.
Playing with a full board is pretty dangerous in co-op.
But that's their better score, so they get 18,000 for this round.
Oh, on the stream we got that graphical glitch with the portrait.
Oh,
Why does it look
is that something wrong about my setup?
No. We had, like, in this build, there's a glitch that's fixed in the next one, but sometimes the portraits get messed up.
Oh, see, I thought it was a stylistic choice.
Yes, actually. You
It's-
passed my test.
Excellent.
It's Grapple Force Arena spoilers. We can't explain it.
Oh, yeah, no. You gotta play Graphic Force Arena to find out. Should we spectate somebody else?
Yeah, so we have, I guess, a backup stream. We are going to check out Amelia and Trash Boat. If they're still
Okay.
going at it.
They're still going. I'm peeking.
Okay.
All right,
they-
looks like they're just over a minute into this game.
Uh-oh.
So it must be their second
Amelia
try.
only has 1 space left.
Oh boy.
They've
oh,
got us.
that's a scary board.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Okay.
goodness. Trash Boat wasn't too strong that time, luckily. I can see how it can very easily get out of hand. Like, needing to balance is so crucial.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you're trying to play with a full board for a big chain, like you're very much in danger with this rule set because of that instant drop garbage.
So, Trash Boat has something pretty big in the works. There's no bracing on those yellows, but it should still be fine. Yeah, almost completely canceled out. Another thing is that when you have a big crowded board like this, you kind of have to make a bunch of clears if you want to make space. But you don't want to make too many big clears because you don't want to...
Kill your opponent.
Yeah.
Or,
Alright. Amelia's gotta set that off. Okay. You notice that Amelia waited until enough garbage was in the tray that it would get mostly countered.
mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know how garbage canceling works in this game, when you make a chain, it sends garbage to your opponent, but if you have any garbage queued up on your side of the board, it'll cancel that garbage out first.
So in a perfectly synced up co-op game, both players would be canceling out each other's garbage like before it could drop anywhere. Obviously, that's almost impossible to be perfect at because you don't know exactly how much garbage your chain is going to send unless you are like a Petal Crash god and can predict the exact outcome of your chain and know all the formulas. And I don't think anyone is quite at that, computerized of a level yet.
Well, that sounds like an exciting event when it happens, though. Like, it's such a rare event, gives you like hype. Does it like pop up like perfect or something? Maybe a Cleopatra fortune style, you have a cosplay of your character come up on stream?
It's just Patrico.
Patrico? Okay. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, I cleared it with Taito, it's fine. It would be kind of fun to have like a little indicator of like a perfect cancel in co-op. I tried not to...
Should I put that in the bug tracker?
No. I was gonna say, with little polish tweaks like that in Petal Crash, I tried to go pretty light on them. For one, because I was making that game by myself, and like little polish flourishes like that is a never-ending rabbit hole. And two, which is sort of related to the first reason, is that the sort of Game Boy Color aesthetic sort of precluded a lot of really fancy effects without it looking like too advanced to look like it could be a Game Boy Color game. Which is part of why I picked it, so then I wouldn't have to do all these little polish tweaks. But PCO, Petal Crash Online, is more Game Boy Advance flavored, so it could work with little tweaks like that the base game doesn't have.
They're kind of coming up on time here. I mean, they're taking risks, but with 10 seconds left, I think that's the time.
Yeah, you just gotta cash in at this point.
That's the time.
Yeah.
All right.
So a full 5 minutes. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, in the last bit of it, you might as well just like go all out, because the garbage might not even drop at that point. You can see Trashbo had some left over. Remaining garbage will be deducted from your score in the future version. I'm just kidding. That's not happening. I'm not doing that. That would be cruel.
Oh my god. That reminds me of what's it called? Local Hexite. They punish you super hard in that game. That's a real deep cut of a puzzle game. I don't know if you know that one.
Wasn't Tetris Man also made that one?
Tetris Man?
I don't know how to pronounce his name. The man who invented Tetris.
Alexei Pajitnov?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, he did not make Local Hexite. You're thinking of Hexic.
Oh, yeah. Hexic. That's a different one.
So, let's have a look at our bracket, see how people are doing. Do we have scores coming in? I don't see anything reported yet. So, there must be a flood of...
They're still all on the first one.
I'm seeing reports in the Discord, but I'm not sure who's entering those in the bracket.
They're not reports. They're only the first picture.
Oh right,
because they're doing 2 rounds.
Okay, well we saw Missing No do both, and they posted just the better of their 2 scores. So there might be some confusion around that. But for all the participants,
just done one and done.
Just to let us know if a second screenshot is coming or if it's the best, just make it clear as you report the score so that we know we can update bracket. Okay.
Something that might be good for a future version of this game is like of being able to view the lobby's like match history and results.
That'd be convenient.
Yeah.
So far we have let's see, 18,000 coming from Missing No. We have Tin Wild with 19,000. Amelia and Trash Boat with 68,000. Oh, Tin Wild's second match was 84,000. So that's the highest yet. That's with Solitaire. And then Trash and Amelia. Oh, their first round was actually pretty rough. only 3,000. I see.
Oops.
So it's a very high variance mode. It's quite the delicate, you're dancing on the tip of a needle or something. You know what I mean? Like,
It's absolutely a balancing act, yeah.
Because if you go
So
too
who's up next
slow,
on stream?
you're not going to get any score. You go too fast, you're going to overgrow them and also not get any score.
so up next on stream, we do have Rune and Raspberry Floof. But before we can put them on stream, because it's a round robin format, we can't really move forward until the whole round is finished. So we're just waiting for some extra scores to come in.
We could watch these two in this lobby while we wait.
Oh, is Rune in here too? Okay, sweet.
Kowtow and Raspberry Flute for playing.
Oh, okay. It is Kowtow.
Oh, they're in the last 10 seconds of this round.
Yep. So we see Kowtow definitely not playing aggressively with the grow button, but working out in his favor because, unlike some participants, he was able to survive the whole 5 minutes, which, that counts for a lot.
Yeah.
That's not guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Safety not guaranteed. Does anybody remember safety not guaranteed from You're the Man Now, Dog?
Oh, that is going back. Does that website still exist? I guess it probably does.
It might.
I think it went down recently-ish, like in the last couple of years.
Oh, ouch. That's internet history right there. Someday we'll go to a museum and they will have a simulated dial-up modem with You're the Man Now, Dog. Okay, so Raz and Kowtow are done. I'm still just waiting on this bracket to update. Well, if that's going slowly, I might as well update it myself where I see it's possible.
I was just discussing stuff in the background. Tournament staff chat.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
That'll crash.
Petal crash.
In the next version we have coming out, you're finally going to be able to put favorite stars on your favorite lobby phrases.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, while we've got
You'll
a bit
also
of
finally be able to actually use tilt controls.
Yeah.
No way.
We're joking. Or are we?
Oh, no. Okay, the first round is complete. So we have all the scores in. So the leaders at the moment are Tin Wild and Solitaire with 84,800 points. Runner-up, Amelia and Trashboat with 68,650 points. 39,250 coming from Raspberry Floof and Kowtow Robinson. And Missing No and Decafumo with 18,000.
All right.
So some good showing there.
I'm surprised Rune isn't in the lead already.
Rune our odd one out, who
Oh,
didn't play in the first.
Yeah, that explains it.
Oh, yeah.
He had a
That's
bye
why
in the
Rune
first
isn't.
round. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess
we have
we'll
an odd
accept.
number of players, and Rune was the odd one out in round one.
In the stream chat, he says he couldn't find a way to do it. He's sorry.
I suppose we'll accept that excuse. So on stream, Rune, you do have a moment to shine. Rune and Raspberry Floof, if you can get to a machine, and everyone else can also start their rounds.
So these are a couple of Petal veterans.
Some
So this-
real pedal heads here.
Petals will crash at this location.
All right, I'm expecting big things here.
I watched some footage of Rune playing with Xerxian, who is not appearing in this tournament this time. And the amount of coordination required to get a really high score is, like, phenomenal. It's like requires constant communication.
I wonder if we'll see any Grandmaster performances today.
That's
So
also
for reference, yeah, the cutoff to get Grandmaster in co-op, you need to score 140,000 points. There's currently a bug in this version that's been out for a while where that's lower than it should be, but 140k is the true Grandmaster cutoff. So if we see any team hit that, we know that's a true Grandmaster pairing.
Also, it's notably not the same scale as getting Grandmaster in Time Trial. If it was, it would be 200,000, but it's a lot lower because having another person there with you is a huge detriment.
Oh, hey, is someone not using purple? You can see the gradient in the background there.
That was Jill's cool idea. Actually,
I was very proud of that little detail.
The whole little
But everyone
sequence
always
of
uses
like
purple.
the characters like sliding in with like the anime flash background was Jill's idea.
Oh, cool.
So she gets credit for that. I did like the mock-up of it, but it was Jill's idea and she implemented it.
It did turn out really cool, IMO.
Yeah. So already we've got Raspberry Poof has this like enormous branching chain just ready to go.
Oh,
And-
absolute sicko mode.
And trusts Rune to be able to set it off. Looks like it kind of broke a bit, but so did Rune's.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Rune decided to keep building instead of setting that off. Interesting choice. Not what I would have done, but I'm not a Grandmaster.
Another thing to note about playing in instant drop is you
Uh-oh.
always want to build compact. Uh-oh, that's scary.
If Rune doesn't set this off, he's
Rune's
going
just
to
gonna have to
die.
set that off or he's gonna die. Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't think tank and send is a co-op strategy, but yeah, here we are.
Nope.
Another thing about
All right, we're
since
gonna hold
it's
it
Trash
for as
Attack
long as
style,
possible.
since it's Trash Attack style garbage, if you clear it, it turns it into color blocks. So you can sort of exploit that for points a bit.
Something
but-
you might have noticed there while Rune was kind of waiting to set that one off is a little timer sort of flashing by his cursor. So you can only go a certain amount of time without making any moves before it will force you to do a grow and bring in your spawners, which will also drop any garbage that's waiting. So there's a limited amount of time that you are able to basically delay. See, there it is again.
Mhm.
I see. So he kept a move open so that he could prevent the auto spawn. Okay.
Right.
We
Ooh,
might be
he
able to
didn't
cancel a
quite
little
cancel that. Okay.
He had a 2-chain ready, but I guess it was more important for him to save the potential score than to cancel the garbage.
Yeah, I actually don't recall if I finished what I was saying earlier about how you really need to focus on building compact in all the instant drop garbage modes, because garbage will prioritize empty spaces, and if there's an empty space that you need for your chain to work, it will always go there. It knows.
It knows. I didn't code it that way, it just sort of appeared that way.
It is
The
not coded
actively
to know, it's just
malevolent
that's how it
garbage.
works out. Yep.
There's a ghost in it.
So when garbage drops, it prioritizes completely empty spaces. So that's an empty space that doesn't have a spawner in it. So if you're running very low on fully empty spaces, you can be sure that that's probably where your garbage is going to hit when your garbage hits.
They're doing really well coordinating so far. There hasn't been really any big hits on either end.
Oh wow, that was very well balanced.
Do you just have
it's
a perfect
like a
cancel?
dance. Perfect. And then Patrick appears.
So 1 minute left to go, and they already have about 80,000 points. So they are poised to actually set the single round highest score so far
that
in the
was
tournament.
such a good cancel.
Wow.
They
That
both
was
had
really
enormous
good.
chains, and there was actually Rune Okay, yeah, they're just like sending the same like 4 garbage back. Oh, it's all gone. Perfect.
That's
Perfect.
like, is that the second perfect clear this round? Like that's crazy, right?
It's a bit crazy.
I kind of want to make that feature now.
I'll record myself saying perfect, and I'll echo it all arcade style.
Nice.
Just like Target from Grapple Force.
Yeah. That's me. Grapple Force Arena has a few announcer voice clips in it, and they're all me. Whatever the next Petal Crash is, it's going to have voiced announcers, I think. And I already have people in mind for it.
All right, Rune's setting off one last big chain. All right, Raz got one off too. All right, let's see what this
Wow.
score ends up being. They're
Oh,
pretty
wow.
close to GM.
Look at that.
Rune kind
It
of
keeps going.
accidentally
it's
took...
Keeps
going, it's
going.
going,
Let's-
it's going,
Oh!
it's Master!
Ow!
Wow, congrats to the
Oh, wow.
players. That was some top level play. That was really nice.
Absolutely. Another little...
There, you saw it there for just like a frame.
Yep, the results.
Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Another little quirk. Who gets the victory quote at the end is determined by who gets the most points. But if you overgrow your partner, then the victory quotes is more like an apology quote from the person who overgrew.
Oh, I love it.
Mhm. And then there's like Strelitz who doesn't realize you're playing co-op.
There are also some special lines for if you're doing solo Penny versus solo D&E, right?
Oh yeah, Penny and
I seem
Dean
to remember implementing that.
they have unique lines for each other for both situations.
All right, let's see how close these end up being. 2 huge startup chains here.
42 garbage.
42, okay,
Ooh.
but
And
then
then
going
Rune
back with
beats it
47.
by 5.
That's still, considering how big the numbers involved are, having an overflow of 4 is pretty good.
Yeah. You don't usually get to make these big chains in versus mode because if you spend all the time putting it together, you're gonna get interrupted with garbage or get hit. But in co-op, since you're both like trying not to send huge attacks at each other, you get basically all the time you need to make something big and ridiculous.
Yeah,
Okay, now Raz is putting on a huge chain that, yeah, she basically has to set that one off. She had no other moves.
Sort of trusting Rune to be able to.
oh my god.
Rune
Yeah,
actually
Rune
had
had
something pretty
something-
big.
Yeah, but
But-
it wasn't quite as big as what Raz had.
But another thing is that when you do a big chain like that, since you use so many of the petals on your board becomes empty after, so even if you don't counter it, it still leaves you in a better position to receive whatever's left. Right?
No, it
Garbage
makes sense to
didn't
me.
get in Rune's way too much. Rune is rebuilding. Raz is getting pretty full over there again. Raz is gonna have to set off very soon. Actually, maybe next move, Raz is gonna be setting off. All right,
Uh-oh.
here's a
Uh-oh.
that
Is
was
that a
supposed
corner
to be
case?
coordinated detonate, but it looks like
Yeah.
they both luckily they both seem to have accidentally cut themselves off there.
Which is good because if only one of them cut themselves off, it would have been the end.
No, if they both
Yeah.
do it, it's on purpose. That's the rule.
Oh yeah. That's the rule. I forgot the rule.
Hmm.
forgot the rules of my own dang game. Alright, Rune's gotta set this off.
And we have just passed the halfway point of their time. We're under 2.5 minutes now.
And they are on track
They
for
also
another
have
Grandmaster.
passed, yeah, if they keep up their pace, they could very well beat their previous score. These two are
think-
going to be a tough pairing to beat, I think.
I think the world record for co-op so far is something like 190,000.
Oh, goodness.
Like, very nearly to 200k. Which is ludicrous. Uh-oh.
So Raz is just waiting to tank even more because she knows her garbage is going to be bigger than whatever's in that queue. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh my
Oh my
god.
god. Yeah.
Whoa.
Huge change from Raz.
Whoa.
And then
That was a huge,
Okay.
a really fancy one from Rune.
almost perfectly canceled out.
That's a really impressive timing too, coming from the players. Like they not only judging the chain, but like Raz gave Rune like just enough time to send even more garbage and then build up another chain while the chain was going off to pretty much offset the whole thing.
I'm really happy that the co-op mode turned out so like deep and complex and interesting. Just from me making versus mode, but your scores are added together.
Oh my god, Raz has something huge set up. They've both got very, very full boards. They both need to set these off. I don't think they have any other options.
Yeah.
It's just a matter who should go first, I guess.
Pretty even.
Oh, pretty close.
Yeah.
They might already have passed their previous score. It's still counting up.
There's
Oh, it's so close.
No, not quite, not quite.
there's one subtle thing to mention. Garbage accounts for chains of length up to 5, but score accounts up to 8 to 11, not 18.
Oh, so bigger keeps being better in co-op. Oh, they're
Yeah.
just cashing in everything right now. Let's go.
All right, well, they did beat their previous score. This is an even higher Grandmaster. Oh god, they passed 150k. Are they going to pass 160?
160, let's go.
Oh, just
160.
barely.
Very
160
nice.
used to be the old Grandmaster limit.
Oh my god, that's almost as close as you can get. I think you can only score in increments of 50, right?
I think so, yeah. So that was very
Wow.
cool.
Very well played from Rune and Raz there.
That was some pedal crash.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It's also a really good demonstration of like what optimal co-op play looks like.
So our backup is Trash Boat and Missing No, but let me see here if they've posted any scores. Yeah,
They're in the
they've,
other lobby.
yeah,
they've
They're still
already.
playing.
They've already
already-
finished their set.
Okay, well,
Oh, they
while
have?
we wait for bracket, why don't I take this opportunity? We've got. Oh, you know, Raz and Rune were the last ones, so they're going to be there in a second. Oh my goodness! So Raz and Rune dominated that round. Other players range from like 20 to 50,000. So cranking out 160,000 is just putting them a cut above everyone else so far.
Rune has basically already caught up from not being in the first round.
Nice. So our third round on stream, we will have Decafumo Death Cult and Trash Boat. So Decafumo and Trash Boat, be sure to come to the Puzzle Wednesday lobby. And everyone else, find your partner and start your match.
It's like Kowtow and Tin Wild are still playing.
They didn't have a round last time, so they might have started Kowtow and...
Did they jump ahead?
No, they didn't, but maybe the TO input their first score before the second was done. I'm not sure.
That's what he did.
Okay.
He's tired.
Well, we appreciate your help nonetheless. Yeah, let's check them out before we start the next round. Unless they've finished.
Looks like Decafumo and Trash Boat are here.
Oh.
And Tin Wild and Kowtow have finished, so I guess
Yeah.
we'll be hopping into Deca and Trash Boat here.
Sweet.
Fixed it.
That gradient is so cool. There's a little difference. When you're playing versus, there's like a dividing line. But when you're playing co-op, there's no line and there's a gradient instead. Because you're together.
Yeah, so the gradient effect only happens if it's co-op. Otherwise, it's just like a solid tint to your player color on either side of the lightning bolt.
Hmm.
Just a small detail, but I think it's really fun.
Yeah, that was also Jill's idea.
Well, it's the little things that like leave an impression in a game, right?
Yeah.
All right, so looks like Trash Boat has a pretty big chain set up here and is waiting for Deca to get some kind of response set up.
Looks like they're kind of
Uh,
both waiting.
Oh,
Got corner
Oh.
cased.
corner cased. All right, is Trash Boat going to set this one off now?
Alright, the board is mostly empty, so even...
oh boy.
Yeah, that's survivable.
Oof. That is survivable, but 17 kind of hurts.
Yeah, but luckily with color clear, you can get a lot of those out really quickly.
Yeah.
What's color clear?
Oh, color clear is the setting that makes it to where when you clear garbage, it leaves behind a colored block.
Oh.
It's on by default in
So-
Trash Attack and in Co-op.
Yep, in normal Petal Crash, when you clear a block next to a piece of garbage, that piece of garbage is destroyed, leaving behind an empty space. But in these modes, in color clear modes, whatever color you cleared it with is the color that gets left behind in that space.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no. So 26,000 for the first round. I see what you mean with the quotes. It's all apologetic.
Mhm.
Okay. They're back at it. So this is
Why we got
interesting.
two.
So it feels
Huh?
like Trash Boat is outclassing Decafumo, but how do you optimize in that case? Like he's got to maybe be less ambitious with his chains and learn to match what his partner's capable of.
Honestly, something that helps if you're like if you got a partner who can't build as big chains as you, is to sort of fill a bit of the time by making single clears, because they don't send anything and you still buffer up the score while you're waiting for them to put something together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it actually, I think he's following that strategy.
So Deckfilm actually has a pretty big one set up, except I think on the bottom left corner there. Oh no, wait, it's going to the other end.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
Trash Boat needs to
yep,
hurry.
that corner there. All right, now Trash Boat.
Oh, Trash
Is the
Boat may have
one-
overcompensated.
That's cool.
Oh
Tempo
my
save
goodness. Oh, at least that was almost
All right,
canceled.
luckily only dropping one little garbage.
there. Oh no, missing no head that got timed out on a grow and ended up dying for it. You hate to see it.
Oh yeah, looking at results from an off-stream match. Oh, got knocked out before even setting off the first chain.
Oh.
You do hate to see it. All right, well, it seems like these two are working together better this round. They've, I believe they've already passed their previous score.
Yeah.
All right, big one from Deca. Is Trash
And-
Boat gonna?
So he doesn't quite cancel the whole thing,
Almost.
but
But survivable.
Oh, kind of a scary board state, but not insurmountable.
It's in this kind of situation that you can play a bit faster to kind of recover. Even if you're otherwise trying to keep slow.
what's your personal best score in this mode? Do you know, Ashley?
I'm too busy to play it with people.
Okay.
I also don't think I've ever actually sat down for serious co-op.
Jill, we should play co-op at some
Yeah.
point. We should do like an exhibition match if there's nobody else.
We can do that.
Yeah.
I'm probably pretty rusty at actually playing the game. I haven't really sat down and
Think
played
about-
seriously in a while.
Being a game developer, you don't have time to play video games. Oh, Trash Boat's in a pretty tight spot. gotta set that off or he's dead. It's the only valid move he can make.
Yep, he only has 3 empty spaces and there's 3 garbage queued, so
Oh, goodness.
now there's 4.
Now there's more, yeah.
Well,
Well, he
sometimes
offset it,
also-
so waiting was the right move.
Absolutely.
These two have
Another-
really turned their teamwork around this game.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing really well.
I think they're going to
They've
go
been
the
putting
distance.
each other in some kind of scary situations, but they keep recovering.
I was gonna say, another thing about color clear is that you can actually work the garbage turning into color blocks into your chain. Because if like one link of the chain breaks them, another one can then start pushing them together. So you can actually... It's really hard to do that on purpose.
It
But-
requires an incredibly genius galaxy brain to do on purpose.
Which means that whenever you do it, you have to take credit for it. Okay. Trash boat's looking pretty cramped. Uh-oh. This could be bad. You've gotta clear some
Uh-oh.
space.
Oh
Ugh.
no. That was
Oh,
the wrong
this
move.
is
Should have
really
pushed that
sketch.
purple.
Oh boy.
Okay, oh wait, no. Making it out.
Technically alive.
Yeah, it's like recoverable, but it was real sketchy for a second there.
Oh, that was real scary. Alright, so Trash Boat has
Pretty
let's
big
see a
chain.
medium-sized combo queued up here. Coming down to their last 10 seconds.
Okay, once you get to the end of like the last few seconds, it's usually
Ooh.
fine to sort of start going all out because
Yeah,
you don't
for
really
those
miss
last couple of points.
that. All
Oh,
right, they made it
very
to the end.
nice.
Another
All
thing,
right, 75k, not bad.
so the victory quote: "If you don't overgrow your partner, it's whoever contributed more to the score is the one displayed." And they have like a fun co-op quote. I didn't want to have it break down exactly who contributed how many points, because I didn't think it would like be very fun to like play co-op with somebody a lot better than you and see that they got like 90% of the points and you got barely any. But it does acknowledge who got more.
Well, that was pretty cool seeing the players adapt to each other in the second game there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was really neat.
So Amelia and
Well played from those two.
Kowtow are back up, but they appear to be out of game, so we might be done the round. Let's
We are
see.
blasting through these rounds, huh?
They are.
Cool.
Fairy to fairy communication.
Oh my goodness. Highlight of the last round being Tinwild and Rune, scoring 114,000.
Pretty good. I think Rune's gonna
And
run
that-
away with it.
That does indeed put Rune at the top of the leaderboards.
Oh wow, despite having already missed a round.
In spite of that bye,
Okay, well, up next
Uh.
on stream, we have Kowtow and Missing No.
all right, looks like we're waiting on Missing No to get into the lobby. Let's run down the standings real quick. So we just finished round 3. So Rune is in first place with 274,150 points, followed by Tinwild at 258k. Raz is in third place at 199k. Trash Boat at 182k, and fifth place is Solitaire at 130. All right, looks like we have both of our competitors.
All right, I'm queued up to watch.
I'm ready.
We don't have Juicy here this time. Usually it's look for Wario Penny to know you're ready to start, but no Wario Penny this week.
The gradient with like the white looks pretty cool.
So this will be interesting. I know Missing No's got a decent amount of experience in this game, but I think I think the Puzzle Wednesday community met Cowtow Robinson in a puzzle mystery bracket a few weeks ago and recommended Petal Crash. So they've only been at it a couple weeks now or something. So
Yeah, Kowtow is a new name to me.
so
I don't recall seeing them before, so that would make sense.
but it's cool to see. You know, they picked up on some of the chain forums, and we've got a bit of a chain happening around the edge.
I imagine that most of the people watching it right now are probably already part of the Puzzle Wednesday or Petal Crash communities. But if you're not, and if you somehow have not played Petal Crash before, I'm really happy with how the community for the game has turned out. We got some really helpful people that have made resources on strategies, and we have a lot of really helpful people who will play games with people who are starting up and kind of try and show people the ropes. And we've seen several times now someone brand new come on board and just within weeks just go wild, which really makes me happy.
I'm especially happy of how the Petal Crash competitive community, like, the fact that one exists is already incredible to me, but the fact that it's like so supportive and like so enthusiastic is just, I just honestly couldn't ask for better.
Shoutouts to Xerxian, who is not with us today, but is a major Petal ambassador. We always appreciate Xerxian around here.
Absolutely. Xerxian also maintains pedalcrashers.net, the strategy wiki, which also has leaderboards now, so if you do really well in single player, you can see how you stack up.
Yeah, Xerxian, first class dude. I'm really impressed with how Missing No is able to scale his attacks to fit Kowtow. So I think they're doing very well.
Something unique about Petal Crash is that you can set up a big chain, but then you can set it off from the middle to make it smaller, which is usually not something you want to do, but uniquely in co-op, there's often something you want to do, is to like make your chain smaller than it's supposed to be. So that you can sort of dynamically
Scale
adjust.
the points, yeah.
Yeah. So you can send over a little bit, and then see what they send back. If they send anything back, you can then send off the rest of the chain to like make up for it. You lose out on some points because longer chains are worth a lot more, but you get a lot from survivability.
Pretty good survival from these players.
Yeah.
90 seconds out, and they look like
Xeno's got something pretty big going.
pretty big. So as long as Kowtow can survive this next one.
Seems like Missing No has done a really good job of adjusting to Kowtow's level here.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely making up for that really unfortunate round he had last time. Uh-oh.
Oh, Kowtow's board
I think
looking
that's
a
it.
little scary. I think
Kowtow has no
is...
moves.
Kowtow has
Kowtow's
passed.
dead. So Missing No's gotta set off as much as he possibly can before Kowtow has to overgrow.
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, well they almost made it, and 50,000, well 48,000 is not a bad score at all.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
So they got one more chance here.
Arlet's quote is a reference to his hidden uncontrollable power.
Spoilers.
It's not spoilers. Everybody would probably think I'm joking.
Interesting
Most people play
that.
Petal Crash.
So
What?
do both players start with the same board configuration?
Yep.
Yes.
So if you're a weak player, you can just copy the strong player.
If you can keep up. Like, looking at what the other player's doing and also doing it yourself is pretty hard. Especially if the more experienced player is playing really fast, which they usually are.
It's like that for fairness in versus mode, and it's just stayed like that in co-op because I mean, I think we discussed whether it would be worth changing it in co-op, so you started with different boards, so you couldn't just do that, but it's so hard to actually do that anyway that
we
I don't think
discuss
it's a
that?
major concern. I'm
I don't
pretty
remember
sure we
discussing
did.
that. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense, though. We have like a sort of debug feature where you can play a match against yourself. And that just ends up making everything cancel out perfectly, so it's basically just like playing time trial.
And everything gets synced up, even growing and stuff?
If you're playing against yourself, then yeah, it just syncs perfectly. So you never send anything, you never receive anything, because it always cancels.
It looks like Missing Nose trying to build maybe multiple medium-sized chains that can be set off independently from each other.
To scale the damage?
Well, here comes a bit of something from Kowtow.
Oh.
All
Oh my
right.
goodness,
Oh,
that's a
no,
lot
that
of
was a little too
garbage.
big.
Oh my goodness.
But Kowtow had a fairly empty board, so luckily that wasn't a one-hit KO.
Oh no, another
Uh-oh.
5.
That's bad, though.
Uh-oh.
Maybe Missing Nose, like, my best shot at a high score is to just make one giant chain before you kill yourself.
This is recoverable.
Kowtow can dig out. It is possible to dig out of this.
Especially with
You
color
just have to be
clear.
very careful about it, yeah.
If you have a whole lot of garbage on your board, you can cascade that pretty easily.
It's tricky though. Like I have not played a ton of Petal Crash, I'm ashamed to admit. And I can't see the outs. So I really feel for Kowtow
Kowtow
right
seems to be
now.
having trouble seeing the way out, too.
There is a
It is
way
there.
out. Man.
Still?
I'm not sure Kowtow is
Left.
accounting for color clear. There might not be a way out
Left
anymore.
purple, blue down, green right, green
Oh, yep,
left.
that'll do it. Yep.
And that's even a 3-chain.
Oh, he got it. I'm assuming he didn't just hear
Alright.
you. He got it before stream delay could possibly have.
Yeah, yeah. That
It was the
happening
only-
as Ashley was saying it. So
It was the only way to survive. That was the only valid sequence of moves.
I saw a really inefficient, like, spinning a piece around in place, like a windmill kind of thing. And then after 4 movements, it would finally go. But it wouldn't 3-chain, so that was way better.
Another thing about color clear is that it kind of gives you chains sometimes. Uh-oh. Like if you clear a chain next to a bunch of garbage, sometimes it'll just make a carbon copy of the chain you just did right next to it. Hey, that's pretty good.
Hey, that's
All right.
good. So they
Yeah.
broke
hey,
50,000.
we're down to the last minute.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. Really good recovery.
That dense
From
garbage
that,
on
like-
Kowtow's side's letting him actually build some small chains.
Because now we're getting to the last 30 seconds, so it's kind of getting close to time to pull out all the stops.
All right, yeah, last 20 seconds, I would say it's time to go all out. Just set up the biggest chain you can and go for it.
There's no penalty for one player overgrowing besides it ending early, so if somebody overgrows at the very end, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I just realized the color clear garbage works like Puzzle Boncho.
Does it?
Yeah, in Puzzle Boncho, when you clear it, it becomes the color you cleared with.
Oh, that's cool. I came up with it independently just because it was actually kind of the easiest to implement. Because, like, random color would be too unpredictable, and I was like, well, if it's not random, then what should it be? And then that was sort of the more obvious answer. Like, oh, just whatever you clear it with.
There's still going to be some weird race conditions when you have multiple colors. Like the corner case type situation will still come up, I think, right?
Oh yeah, there's like tons of like little edge cases in Petal Crash and stuff where like people will ask me, like, well, what happens in this situation when like these blocks are here clearing this, but these ones are in the same move clearing those ones from the other side, and I'm like, hell if I know. The only way to know is to do it. Like I
Urgent
can't.
behavior, baby.
There's like so many edge cases and like things that like when Petal Crash is in development, for a while I was chasing down like unintuitive edge cases and trying to make them resolve in like more sensible ways. But you have to stop at some point because like the fixes will introduce new edge cases and it just gets out of hand and you can go down that rabbit hole forever.
Well, I'm excited about our next match. It's Raspberry Floof and Amelia. And
Oh.
this is a pair
Ooh.
that has played together quite a bunch. So if any pair of people is especially in sync, it's going to be these two.
The game mode is actually alliterative.
So we are
See
actually
up in the lobby description.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I'm doing the gag where you replace part of the text on the interface with your name. So it can be Puzzle Ashley's Day. Washley's Day. Washley is my evil counterpart.
Okay, so just waiting for Amelia and Raspberry Floof to enter a match. And everyone else in round 5, feel free to start your
Raspberry
games.
Floof playing as the twins, which you actually don't see a lot in online. I've noticed that in online people tend to play as either Penny or Deanie. Not usually both of them together. I think maybe it's more intuitive to... Oh, that's a cool gradient.
Oh, that is a good one.
Maybe it's more intuitive to like represent yourself as like one person instead of two people.
There's so many good two of them colors, though.
There are a lot of... Penny and Deanie have like easily the most costumes out of anybody just because there's so many fun references you can make to like famous two of thems.
So much two of them bias in the
We
amount
got-
of colors that they have.
We got Ice Climbers. We got Team Rocket. We got friggin' J and L from Puyo Tetris. That's
We
what
got the
Raspberry
Levier
Floof is
twins
now.
from Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, we do.
Well,
I even got twins from stuff I've never even watched.
well,
But
even
somebody
if
be like, here's the twins, and I'll be like, okay, I'll make a costume of that.
even if they're not a popular choice today, I'm sure in the future the Petal Crash community will get a plural person joining who's really psyched about having a double person character.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
All right, looks like we got the first chain going off from both of them after a minute. Oh god, huge damage and
Wow!
perfect cancel.
Cancel!
Wow.
Holy crap.
That's like the robot movie where you have to be good partners.
Oh, that was incredible. Now, of all the pairings coming up today, I think these two have practiced the most together. I know I've seen
Yeah.
these two talking about playing co-op a lot.
Absolutely.
So I suppose it would make sense for these two to be particularly in sync about the amount of garbage they're sending. Now, Amelia is in a bit of a jam here. All right,
Oh, there's a conflict there.
no other choice but to set that one off.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay,
Ooh,
okay, it's
ooh,
good.
Okay,
That was close, though.
that was a scary one.
Still, for all that material, just a difference of 4 is incredible.
Yeah.
As we approach the halfway point, probably the next big chain is going to put them over halfway to a GM score. So, pretty good pace.
Yeah.
All right, the simultaneous cash in.
Uh-oh. Gotta set it off.
Yeah, I think
That's gonna go off a little early, actually. There's no bracing on it. The last link of it will get broken. Oh! A little
Oh,
branch
wow.
at the end.
oh, scary,
15
scary.
though. Oh,
So
Okay.
as long as you're making matches, the garbage won't drop.
okay. It's like Puyo Fever
Mhm.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might have seen there that Amelia kept making matches to whittle down the garbage, and it didn't drop until there was a move that didn't clear anything.
Mhm.
So even if you just clear two petals, that's still enough to buy you time for your garbage.
And like you were mentioning earlier, just having free spaces makes the garbage drop that much more easy to deal with.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh, big chains from both sides, but Raz's was not quite as big.
It's
Raz
gonna
looking
have to
for
take a
places to
drop here.
cash in. Yeah, Raz was looking for something to do to set something off and delay that, but looked like there were no options, or at least no obvious ones.
So here's that situation I was talking about where color clear can kind of give you chains. Like, because Raz was using the yellow blocks to clear the garbage, now there's like a bunch of yellow blocks ready to be used in chains all over the board.
All right, 30 seconds left.
You know, that's
Alright, so
really
they're gonna
interesting.
set up.
I wonder if optimal
Yeah, for
play.
these two.
I wonder if we might see optimal play where you're supposed to overflow a little bit so that your partner can get color clears.
That'd be interesting, but I think garbage placement is too unpredictable for that to be a really powerful strategy.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. All right, one last chain from both sides. Looks like we
Ooh.
probably,
That's a
128k.
great score.
That is a very good score. That is a master level score. Now,
It
because
says
of the off by
Grandmaster,
one,
but it's off by one.
Yep. the ranks are off by 1 in this one, so that was actually a master score.
I
This
suppose we'll
quote
take your
from
word
Lily
for it.
Breeze is a fun one.
All right, but we saw some great teamwork. God, I love that gradient. We saw some great teamwork from these two, so they very well could hit GM this time, just both instantly growing in. Okay, both going for slightly different builds here, both building near the top of the board, though.
That's something I find very interesting about Petal Crash. Like, two players can get the same material and go for some very different chains, but they always make it work, you know? They always find something big.
Yeah, it was surprising. I think, well, I assume to Ashley, but definitely to me, just like the depth of strategy that ended up emerging in just like what your builds can look like, all the different sort of like kind of shapes to go for that tend to make for good plays.
Yeah,
One that
Petal
people like to
Crash-
talk about
Oh.
is sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
People love to talk about sandwiches in the Petal Crash community.
A sandwich is
Which,
like a chain formation that looks a little bit like a sandwich, and there's so many variants on it that people started coming up with like sandwich-related puns to describe them all.
See, I'm looking. I'm trying to see if there are any. So at the top left of Raz's board, that's almost a sandwich. If that yellow was a green underneath the reds in the top left, that would be a sandwich. Like two side-by-side layers that would be set off by something perpendicular to them.
Yeah. If you have a chain of sandwiches, that's a franchise.
Oh, interesting.
Ashley came up with that one and then called me out for it on the Petal Crash Twitter, by the way.
I didn't call you out for that one specifically.
Oh my
I
god.
just mentioned, I was just joking about how there's so many sandwich terms. I did not
I see.
exclude myself from blame.
I see. Speaking of sandwiches, has summoned Xerxian.
Oh yeah, that's Xerxian.
Okay, I'm glad you guys can hear it too. For a second there, I thought I was haunted by the voice of Xerxian.
What do you
People
mean?
often complain
Haunted by the
about
voice
this.
of who? Xerxian hasn't been playing for 20 years!
Uh-oh. Amelia's in a bit of trouble here. Amelia's chain broke in the
No.
middle,
Oh
and
boy,
there's a ton
24.
of garbage just waiting.
There's like one valid move you can make to delay it. Probably she's
Yellow
just...
up would delay it a bit, but that's not gonna save you much here.
She's just like putting it off as long as possible.
Oh,
Ugh.
well, she could have saved from the overgrow. I
But
think.
gave time for Raspberry Floof to put something together.
I don't think they'll be beating their previous score, but it was still cool to see how they adapt to an awkward situation at the end there.
Yeah, and then that's a good score.
Oh yeah, by normal standards, I'm just saying they set a high bar for themselves with that first round.
Yeah. Well, the first round's what counts. This has been really interesting.
So I think we've scheduled a 15-minute break for participants just because the round robin is so dense. So we're at the midpoint of our games here, so it's the logical time.
Yep, I think we're going to take a break here after round 5 for a little bit to let everybody catch their breath.
Okay, well, if you're still free, I guess we can put Ashley and Jill in the hot seat and ask them all your burning questions about Petal Crash.
We don't get a break?
You don't get a break, sorry.
Okay.
You can have a break if you want.
I was thinking, well, I mean, I don't need to use the restroom, and I've got soda and snacks next to me, so I don't really have a reason to take a break.
The AC is on and the radio is playing his favorite music.
I do have Poochie Carrot music playing in the lobby in my copy of Petal Crash Online right now. And I do have the air conditioner right next to me. Oh, Ashley asked me. Amelia asked me what I think about Quarantine Report 4. I think it's great. That's all. I am just
Now,
kidding.
unfortunately, I don't seem to have the resources on hand to talk about this. I
It's
did not
I
get
was
the
joking.
link to it.
I can actually talk about it. I was just kidding.
Okay, you have the details. Okay.
So Quarantine Report is part of a thing called Quarterly Report, which is a fighting game community event. Since the pandemic started, they've been doing Quarantine Report and streaming various of games with online multiplayer, running tournaments to raise money for COVID-19 relief. And next time in November, Petal Crash is joining the roster.
Yeah, so shout outs to Solitaire for hooking us up there. I don't know
Thank
if
you, Solitaire.
Solitaire is listening. I think he's probably on his own
Solitaire's,
stream right now.
yeah, streaming his own games.
But yeah,
Which is
otherwise
good.
it'll be run by the crew here at Puzzle Wednesday. There may be some money involved.
And there may also be free Petal
throw
Crash
that
keys
out
to
there.
give away for viewers.
Mm?
You can tell what kind of resources are available to us to promote this. I do have unlimited copies of Petal Crash I can give away.
Wow, that's such power.
I have the copyright. I have the right to copy it.
You
How-
can
But,
copy that floppy.
I can copy that floppy. Nobody can tell me not to copy it.
How does it feel to have infinite wealth?
It doesn't. It's not. It isn't that. It's ironic because giving away infinite copies of Petal Crash would, like, decrease my wealth. Because then I wouldn't have anything to sell anymore.
Hats.
Wow, Amelia's
You just need pedal
spinning.
hats.
Amelia's spinning.
Yeah, where's the merch? Let's go.
Merch? Stay tuned.
Ooh.
Yeah, so otherwise, a little bit more details about Quarantine Report 4. It should be at the same time as usual, 8:30 ET, on November the 13th. So Quarantine Report 4 will be happening across that whole weekend, November 12th through 14th. So we're going to be on that Saturday slot. And I hope you will all come and join us for that one.
That sounds like
And
a good
I'm
time.
looking at the list of games for this event. This is huge. There's a ton of stuff in this. This is like dozens of games.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of good ones in there.
And
Maiden and Spell, recommend.
so we've been on version 9.3 Petal Crash for a while. Is that what we'll be using in the tournament?
Is it time to announce that? That was
The
a good
time
time
has
to announce
come.
that. So, Petal Crash Online has been in open beta, exclusively available on itch for quite a while now, but we are approaching version 1.0.1, and with it, the release of Petal Crash Online on Steam. So Petal Crash Online will be bundled with Petal Crash the full game. So everybody who has Petal Crash will just get it automatically in an update, and you'll get the option to play it when you play Petal Crash. So everybody who has it on Steam is going to get online, and the date that it will be available on Steam for everyone is October 12th. Petal Crash's first anniversary.
Oh my goodness, that is so close.
Yay.
Wow,
It is very close.
congrats on the 1 year. That's incredible.
Thank you. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to have made it a year ago. now I get free
There's
anniversaries
been a
for
lot of
life.
UI mocks. A lot of other things flying around.
Oh no, I mean I worked on Petal Crash Online a fair amount, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
the anniversaries, like I get free anniversaries for life now.
True. It's true. It is weird to believe that it was 1 year ago.
Yeah.
That game released. This
I
game
don't
that we
know,
all love
like
so much.
Petal Crash. Oh, thank you. Petal Crash kind of feels like my entire life now, so it's kind of hard to imagine a time before it. In my case.
Yeah,
So-
it's definitely. I don't know. I mean, I just I think I posted in one of my Discords like maybe 2 days before release last year, like, hey, this game looks kind of cool. Does anyone know if it's like gonna be good? And then I just like bought it and threw on that stream on that was on Monday, I'm pretty sure, October 12th. And then I think Jill and Rego dropped by, and then I was like, oh wow. And then here we
And
are
now-
an entire year later.
Yep, and you're completely and fully pedalized.
Yeah.
Their scene went so sickos for Petal Crash that I forgot he was not one of the Kickstarter backers.
That made me extremely happy to see like somebody just getting it, finding out about it after it comes out, could still just like get really into it.
Yeah, I mean, well, also what Susie's saying in the chat there is, I mean, Petal Crash really pulled together like the wider puzzle variety community. Honestly, I mean, the Puzzle Wednesday folks crashing the FNF server, and then
That is one
everyone
of the
said, like-
things that made me
Yeah.
happiest about Petal Crash's reception is that like now I know all of these people who are into old weird arcade puzzle games that I didn't know before. Like I used to be the only person I knew who was like obsessed with these old weird puzzles, and now they all like found me because I made this weird puzzle,
There you
and
go.
now we're all friends. There are dozens of us. Assuredly, the thing, dozens is the number of people you want in a market when you're making a game.
True.
I'm pretty happy with how Petal Crash did, though, sales wise. It's a niche game, but it has supported me for this whole year. Until
Well,
this
hopefully with
month.
the Steam release, we'll have another rise. People realize what is going on.
Yep, there's gonna be
And,
online, and people are gonna jump in and immediately meet all the people who've been playing online for months already.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm
For
sure
those
they'll all
of you
play
who
co-op.
are already in the beta, So Steam release will be on October 12th, but there will be a release to people who are already in the beta in the next day or two of what will hopefully be the final build that'll be ready for Steam for one last bit of testing.
Yeah.
So those of you who are already in the beta, look forward to that.
Yeah, you'll be
And,
getting 1.0.1 pretty soon. The reason it's 1.0.1 is because we already tried to do that, but there are some real like show-stopping bugs in it that we had to roll back to this build before the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, we have Raz on the line. So
Yeah.
I'm speaking of show-stopping bugs.
I broke it.
So-
I'm sorry.
So
No, it's good. If you didn't break it, we might have released with those bugs. That would have been way worse.
So-
Yeah.
Kowtow asking in chat if the Steam version will have online built into it. So the answer there, it's not built in, but it will be bundled with it. So
So it's like you won't be able to launch online from like the base game Petal Crash. It'll still be a separate program, but it'll be a part of the same game. So like when you launch Steam, sometimes it'll be like play the game, and there'll be like settings or whatever. You'll get two options. It'll say play Petal Crash or play Petal Crash online. So you can, they'll be both bundled under Petal Crash. So it's not going to be a separate entry. You won't have to do anything to get it. It'll just update and then it'll be available.
So we got just about 5 minutes left before we go back to games, but I think we really do need to ask some hard-hitting questions to Ashley. So Ashley, if you had to add an extra color to the game, what color would it be?
Another color? Like another colored block?
Another color?
Exactly.
Wait, like the seventh color?
I don't think these people know about the sixth color.
You haven't tried the sixth? I mean, that open beta was live for a little bit.
It was
Oh,
live
so-
for a
for
few
like
hours.
an hour.
So something a little special. In version 1.0.1, there's going to be a lot more custom options that are mostly Nova's doing, because Nova's thing is she loves like messing with the mechanics of puzzle games and like seeing how they work. So she added all these extra options that aren't in the base game, which include the option to play with 6 colors instead of 5. So the sixth petal is a calla lily, and the color is pink.
It's a very
wow.
nice petal.
Yeah.
Now, fun fact about the sixth color, actually, the idea for it is actually, I think Rune was the one who really was thinking about it the most way back when. Again, I'm gonna put on my time traveler hat for a second here, but back in the day in the closed beta,
Which you weren't in.
which I was not in. Back when the spawner algorithm was a lot more, it was a lot nicer to the player. It would set up a lot of free pairs and things like that for you. Ashley and company were trying to figure out ways. How do we make this less game breaking? And one of Rune's suggestions at that point was, hey, what if we had 6 colors instead of 5?
Yeah.
So
Ultimately,
yeah.
what we decided to do is the spawner algorithm just now avoids placing blocks in pairs of matching colors. So you can't just skip over and over again. And Nova did a couple of funny things as custom options you could put in. One, she included the option for the old beta spawner patterns where it just places completely randomly and you can get lots of pairs. And she also made an opposite of what we did to where it'll actually place the pairs on purpose. So friendly spawners. So if you grow over and over again, it'll basically just build a bunch of chains for you.
Yeah, it is chaos mode. I think chaos options or chaos modes were what we called them in the beta server, and that may even be what they're called in the game too.
Yeah, in the game they're listed under chaos options.
Yeah.
There's also board options, which is you can
yes.
set your board size differently. You can cut down the size of the board. You can set how many different colors, including one. You can play one color Petal Crash. You can set. You can set how many options
in the chat also.
how many spawners.
The board is not expanded for the 6th color, but those options are actually all separate. So you can set board size between 4 and 8 on each dimension. So it can't get bigger than 8x8, but you can play very mini mode if you would really like.
So, you can also set how many spawners you get per spawn wave, which is default by 8.
True.
So if you want to play with fewer or more every wave.
You should implement a board with a hole in the middle. Donut board.
Where the petals
That
just
would-
fall in and disappear.
Yeah. Like you can't or no, it's like sealed off in the middle.
Like walls?
Yeah, like walls
Yeah.
in the middle.
Yeah.
That'd be
Donut
fun.
board.
I think
Huh.
holes also would be a fun option of just like having spaces where if anything goes in there, it just falls and
Oh yeah, and
disappears.
speaking of being able to push things, you can push the garbage in one of the chaos modes.
Oh yeah, there's an option for pushable garbage, and there's another option for pushable garbage, and also the garbage will match with itself and explode just like a regular block.
Oh,
That
wow.
one
So
gets
when's
really
the,
silly.
So
When's
there
the
are
puzzle
7
Wednesday
colors.
chaos bracket then?
Chaos bracket.
Oh boy.
I don't know if the
Just
world is ready.
randomize the settings each round.
Oh my goodness. There's also tilt controls, but that's a surprise.
So we
I will
got
not explain it.
Well, yeah. Oh god.
so
I'm not going to explain tilt controls.
just under a minute left, and you've successfully dodged most of these hard questions. But I think this
Uh-oh.
last one needs some asking. So, if you were to gather all the sacred blossoms, which one would you eat first?
Which one would I eat first?
Yes.
I think not all of those are safe to eat. If you're a cat and you eat the sacred blossom lily, you will get very sick.
Oh, okay.
Probably I would eat the rose first. No, actually, if I have to eat all of them, I'd probably save the rose for later for like morale boost because roses are kind of edible.
Yeah.
Is that I might need like a breather in between eating the rest of them.
Chaos asks, hasn't the orchid been sitting in a cave for some number of years?
It's
The
sacred, it's
blossoms,
fine.
they're magical. They cannot be tainted.
All right.
Also, I'm gonna go ahead and say you probably can't eat them.
You can't tell me
but-
what to do.
Okay, I think if you tried to eat the sacred blossom, you could ingest it, but I don't think you could digest it. I think it would probably just go right through you.
Anyhow, welcome back to all our participants. Hope you enjoyed your break.
Good luck on the back half of bracket.
Yeah. Coming up next, we have Kowtow and Trash Boat. So Kowtow and Trash Boat, if you can make your way to this lobby. I see Kowtow here, just waiting on Trash. But then we'll get started.
All right, looks like they're both here, so just waiting
Yeah.
for them to both hop on this cabinet.
They're probably just coordinating voice chat or something on the side. Definitely a game that not only is it cooperative, but you can really get a lot out of actually communicating with your partner.
All right, here we go.
Co-op especially benefits from communication. And by that I mean obviously communicating is not necessary in versus mode. But
I don't know.
what I mean to say is that communicating will help you a lot. in
Taunts
co-op.
are an essential part of every versus mode.
That's fair. I don't have a taunt button in Petal Crash.
That's what voice chat is for.
True.
Anyways, we do see Trash getting off to a gentle start, getting lots of single clears while he sizes up his partner Kowtow to see what Kowtow's capable of.
Got a little chunk of garbage in the middle now.
Probably the best place for garbage, honestly.
Yeah, that's kind of a lucky drop.
I would say the edge is better because it's harder to get blocks in the middle than the edge.
I guess it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Because people tend to build around the edges, so if garbage drops in the middle, it's probably not going to mess with whatever you were doing.
True.
question for you. With color clear, is there a formation that's an infinite chain?
No, you're gonna run out eventually.
Oh, yeah. Finite garbage. Okay. I got really excited for a second there.
Yeah, garbage
Yeah.
can't drop in the middle of a turn, so... Real-time Petal would really be something. Like, if everything was just constantly happening at once. It would be a worse game.
That's scary. Just imagining having to write the AI for that and dying on the inside.
Yeah, you can't really search future moves while your board state is just constantly changing.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know, I did write the AI for the original game.
And a very good AI it is.
I am very happy with the amount of challenge that it's been able to give people. We got some real sickos who can go toe to toe with it, like completely unfettered now. But it took a while.
I had to keep, like, during development, I had to keep reining Jill back. Like, Jill kept, like, people kept on being able to beat the AI, and she just kept wanting to make it harder. And I'm like, only like 3 people can beat the AI. But next Petal, we'll see
Next
about
Petal.
true sickos.
You have to stop joking about next Petal, or else sooner or later we're going to be expecting one.
I'm Ashley, and I was the one talking about next Petal. And there will be another Petal someday.
Ooh, someday.
Like, I'm not, like, announcing a sequel or anything, but I have, like, so many ideas for, like, how to improve Petal Crash and how to expand it that I don't think I
More of a
could just
when
leave
and
it.
an if, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys heard it here first. Petal Crash 2 is a Taito F3 exclusive.
Taito F3. Just, it'll be really good for me and Color Thief.
Offline
Alright, so
only
only.
two
Countdown looking
people
at
I
a
know
pretty
who have
crowded board here with only a little combo. Countdown
Not
should
even
probably
one that
just
would-
set this off.
Yeah. Kind of broke a bit awkwardly on Trashboat's side. Uh-oh, uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Is that actually...
uh-oh.
Oh.
That was the kill.
At least Kowtow got the kill.
Now we'll get Rosalia's apology.
They did run most of their timer out, though.
Yeah. So it was a
Not
solid round. They'll be challenged to beat it in the second try here.
Something I will say about whatever the next Petal is. The next Petal Crash is not going to be Petal Crash 2 unless it's an advancement of the story. So, if it's just like an enhanced version or a remake, it's not going to be 2.
So
So,
Crash Origins.
the only character who's common between Petal Crash and Petal Crash Origins is Rosalia. You get to meet her when she had both her eyes.
Ooh, now that's lore. Oh, Kowtow corner cased there.
Uh-oh.
Their chain didn't go off.
So if there's a Petal Crash 2 with a new story, I think it's probably going to have antagonists. Which is something that Petal Crash does not have currently. Because Petal Crash's story mode is a lot of, like, personal growth and, like, internal conflict in the story. And I think a sequel would have to be, like, external conflict. But we'll see.
Petal Crash 2 with new elves who are evil this time.
Antagonists are not necessarily evil, they might just be like shitheads.
Mhm.
We'll see.
Is that a Snow Brothers reference?
It sure was.
Oh, heck yeah.
With
I am
new
always
elves.
thinking about with new elves.
That's like the way to describe new characters in anything.
Yeah, like literally because of that, like a certain group of people I know tend to refer to video game playable characters as elves.
Yeah, just no matter what.
Oh, that's great. If only Toaplan were alive today to hear this.
The trash boat's got a lot of material and some like really good chain potential, but not anything huge set up and ready.
Yeah, I think Trashboat's been afraid of building something too big, and so it's just been building a bunch of little things to set off.
Hmm.
Which backfired a little bit in that
Yeah,
last set.
And he,
Caught out without anything ready.
oh yeah, his chain in the bottom left there doesn't seem accessible anymore.
Uh-oh. This
Oh,
looks
that's
hairy.
a bit scary. 3 garbage coming in.
Okay,
Okay, there we
Okay,
go.
that was the move.
Still a scary amount of garbage. Okay, still got a way out.
If you clear that, if you move that yellow to the right, you get a lot of yellows from the garbage. Yeah. Trashwood's gotta make some room. This is too scary.
So yeah, Jowser in chat, I guess tuning in midstream here. Yeah, this is a cooperative score attack mode, but you still attack your partner, same as versus mode. You just don't want to actually kill them, or else you can't get any more points. So the combos very much still send garbage to your partner.
I don't think any other puzzle game has had a mode like this. As far as I know. This one's actually original.
The closest I can think of, which is not even that close, would be. Did you ever play that Bombastic game on PS2?
Nope.
So that's a weird kind of 3D puzzle game where you manipulate dice. But it feels kind of like Bomberman. And when you play co-op, you can very much kill each other like Bomberman because all your stuff still explodes.
That co-op Bomberman does sound like a nightmare. I can't even think of any way to play Bomberman like in a way that involves avoiding hurting anybody besides yourself. Oh,
Oh, trash
Going all out.
cashing in. Oh, Cowtown went to 34 garbage incoming.
it's kind of what you gotta do in the last moments of the match.
Yeah, well, I mean, he spiked out that 51k. That's a very nice score.
In the next version, this press a key to exit screen is not going to be there. It's just going to go right to the results. This is just kind of a vestige of like when we didn't have a results screen.
And when I added the results screen, we were also used to press the key to exit that no one thought until like last week, like, hey, should they just go right to the results?
The reason that got brought up is because you can stay on this screen and like until you both advance, you're stuck on it. So if you want to just trap the other person on this screen forever, you just can.
Oh my god, and then they go through the results instantly. Oh man. That is some pretty nice BM though. I guess anyone who wants to BM their opponents, you got to get into the beta. Do it while you
BM?
can. Bad manners. It's
Ah,
competitive game slang for just doing stuff that's super rude.
that's
like-
pretty rude.
I feel like that term has really blown up this year.
Okay, so checking out our bracket, it looks like Tinwild and Amelia might still be going on if we can find Tinwild and Amelia. So I'm gonna,
Yep, they're up here.
yeah, let's see how much time they've got left. Oh, perhaps none. Okay, they've just ended.
Yeah, they just ended. Their score is 11-0-550.
Can I just say something that bothers me is every time I look at Yasodi's idle animation now, I look at the hair and think about like that hair should be going like a frame or two behind the way it's flowing. I didn't know as much about animating hair back then, so it every time I look at it, it's like, no, it's not going right. All right, that's all. Just had to get that off my chest.
Well, you are the horse boss. You could fix it.
Round 7 time.
No, that's a losing game. It's better to just live with it than to like every time I notice something that I could do better now to go back and redo it. Otherwise, I would never finish anything.
So just checking in on bracket before we move to the next round. We do see Rune in the lead currently with 274,000. Tinwild with 258,000, close behind. Raspberry with 199 and Trash with 182. So all things told, a lot of tight scores in the top 4. So it's unclear who will be placing. It could still trade a whole bunch.
This could be anyone's game.
Yep, and we are moving into round 7 of 9 here. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have
So.
Missing No and Tinwild coming up next on stream. So if Missing No and Tinwild can go to the Puzzle Wednesday room. And everyone else is welcome to start their matches.
Good night.
There's Missing No. Okay. Ooh. So this should be good. Tinwild being in second place is a very strong player.
In Wild having devious thoughts in the chat.
Great emote.
So Ashley, do you have any stats on what countries are buying Petal Crash?
I could go check.
I'm curious, has it popped off in Japan at all? Because I would expect this to do quite well there.
It has gotten a few people in Japan getting into it. I've seen on like social media and in the screenshots. It is like inspired by Japanese puzzle games, so it sort of makes sense that like Japanese people would sort of be familiar with this kind of game. Because a lot of those games didn't come out here. Like, Poochie Carrot did not come out in the US. Landmaker.
Well,
Landmaker did come out here,
the
actually.
port came out, yeah.
Yeah, the port came out. But like, they were never... The action puzzle games were never really huge here.
No, we didn't quite
A
have
translation would help. There is a fan translation.
Oh.
That's like got a few of the stories, but there's no official translation yet. It's something I'm very interested in, but we'll see.
So we see
Keep your eyes on twitter.com/pedalcrash.
Yeah,
So you can see every time Ashley tweets the words pedal crash.
yeah, you don't want to miss that.
And also occasionally important news happens there.
Like and retweet the Petal Crash.
I'm gonna look at the Petal Crash sales region stats and see where it's popular.
Getting a live scoop here.
Yeah, I'm in the Steam backend. I'm going to describe in detail how the Steam backend works for everybody, which is not something that you're supposed to do, but you won't tell anyone.
That's okay. Compared to describing the Twitch backend, I'm sure it's nothing.
Oh yeah, there's no need to describe the Twitch backend anymore.
Mm-hmm. Shoutouts to the Twitch leak. Make sure you change your password if you didn't do it already today, everyone.
Absolutely.
It's taking forever to load. I'm trying to look at the sales. It won't let me. It's also on Switch and PS4, but I don't have detailed.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it
Whoa.
just barely overgrew there.
And it looked like a natural overgrow. Like there wasn't a lot of garbage on his screen when he died.
No, it
Very
was just a very
unfortunate.
full board ready to be cashed in. And just enough garbage dropped at the wrong time.
Well, the grow button
Yeah,
is
hey,
the best
see-
button, except for when it isn't.
That is what they say.
You were about to say something, Ashley?
Nah, the sales page isn't loading, so it's a complete mystery who likes Petal Crash. I don't think anybody's played this game.
It's pretty obscure. I don't know if you've heard of it.
It is pretty obscure, to be fair. It's a little down the iceberg. The iceberg where the top of it is like Tetris.
This is just flower
Alright, looks
Tetris.
like we have both players cashing in a pretty big one. Alright.
It canceled out pretty evenly. Tin Wild took a little bit, but not very much.
I have confidence he can handle 5 garbage.
That's 14
Oh,
garbage.
15 with
Oof. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's
Uh-oh.
a scary board state. Alright.
Okay.
Alright, no, it's fine, it's fine.
Had something ready just in time.
That is the danger of this mode. If something like that catches you out and you just don't have any matches you can make to clear any of it, it can be very deadly.
Oh, hey, we have
Goes through
a sub in
Crash
chat. So shout out to Quapo for the sub. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Thanks
thank
for
you,
supporting
Quapo,
the
for
Puzzle
the
Wednesday
sub.
community.
I'm really glad to see that Petal Crash has like been able to play a hand in sort of developing the variety puzzle community. And that's something I'm very happy about.
We're happy to have you in it too.
Aww. Thank you.
Because not enough people make cool new puzzle games. You know what I'm saying?
It's true. I feel like puzzle games are on sort of the cusp of like a renaissance. Not a renaissance, like a resurgence. I feel like the time is right for new ones to start appearing. Like we got Puyo Tetris 2. We've got there's still new ones coming out, like especially in Japan. Like me and Jill played a bunch of Kashiori, which is very interesting.
Kashiori is really interesting. I feel like Kashiori 2 is going to be really good if it ever happens.
For a second, I was like, "Is there Kashiori 2?"
No, it's the kind of
Tim Wild's
idea that
dead.
I feel like. Yep. Just gotta let Missing No get as much as they can before death here. Kashiori feels like the kind of game that needs like one more iteration to really get it right.
Yeah. I personally feel like Petal Crash is in that position too, but that's only because I made it, so I see, like, I zero in on all the things about it that aren't like how I intended or that are not perfect. For example, playing with a full board was never meant to be, like, a good strategy. Like, it's fine that it is, but I was thinking it would be a lot more dangerous to play with a full board, which in this mode it is, but in the default mode, it's kind of the default play style, is to fill up your board a whole lot.
But you,
I mean,
you
that's
see
not
that as a flaw?
necessarily. I was gonna say that's not necessarily a flaw. It's just like something that was really unexpected. So like naturally, like I try to think of like how could the design be changed to like make it more in line with like my expectations of what the game would be like, which is kind of also a bit of a losing game because if people like it how it is, then it could be bad to change it. In any case, whatever changes I make to Petal Crash in the future, I'm going to have tested extensively by the Petal Crash community. So if they don't like it, it's not going in.
Luckily, we have the luxury of there being a community now.
Yeah, when I was making this game, there wasn't a community. There was like some beta testers, but
Yo, we're having
Not like-
reports in the chat that Rune rolled over the counter with a large chain at 0 seconds. I'm assuming that means he played a 10-minute match.
There is a bug in this version where the timer for co-op can underflow with with a poorly timed rollback.
uh-oh.
Pretty sure I fixed that months ago, but this build came out in July.
Yeah, this is a pretty old build. There's a lot of
Yeah, we haven't done a new public release in a while.
So this next update's gonna be a pretty big one. A lot of exciting bug fixes and a lot of exciting new bugs. For all the new features.
So we're just waiting for our next pair of players. Tin Wild is back in the hot seat, but this time paired with Decafumo Death Cult.
Another thing we changed is that there's going to be a limit on how far off screen you can go. You can still go off screen, but people were starting to get lost out there.
Yeah, you will wrap around. You can go just far enough off screen to disappear, and then you'll come out the other side.
I feel discriminated against. I'm controlling with the mouse, and I can't do that.
You can use the arrow keys.
Arrow keys still work when you're doing mouse control.
You can also
Okay.
double up on the point and arrow keys. You get a special privilege of you can move double speed.
You can get the zoomies.
You can also do complicated drift maneuvers by like moving in different directions from where you're
You
pointing.
can fight against the pull of the mouse movement.
There's
Oh
a
my-
lot of movement tech in this game. There's a lot of movement in Petal Crash Online. It's just all hidden.
So Decafumo's here, Tin Wild is here, so let's see if they can get a match.
Missing No asks why you can't double speed with D-pad and analog stick. Analog stick has the unique ability to move slower than normal, which is something that no other ones get. But we could add in more like janky exploits for movement if there aren't enough.
All right, they're paired up if you want to join me at the top left arcade machine.
Maybe I should put in a jump button that makes your character jump. It just kind of moves them up and down in an arc and your shadow gets smaller.
Or a fly button, but only Lilibri can do it.
Only a Libri can fly.
The classic Orchid soundtrack. So when I hear this soundtrack, the weird, like, kind of like bouncy, high-pitched sound always reminds me of the Tetris Grandmaster Versus music, but I'm sure that wasn't your reference material.
The reference material is actually a song from Landmaker.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, for Orchid, the example track I gave was a Rinray's stage theme, which is now Xerxian's main in Landmaker by complete coincidence. But since Xerxian was like the big Orchid fan, if you listen to them both, you can kind of hear it. It's not easy to listen to Landmaker soundtrack though; it's not available anywhere. I had to rip it from MAME. And it might not even sound right because Taito F3 sound emulation is not perfect. I've got a real Taito F3 board now, and I feel like the hardware adds more reverb to the samples than the emulator does.
That sounds like the sort of thing that would
Interesting.
be hard to get right.
Yeah.
Because
So like the official Poochie Carrot soundtrack is very reverby. But like if you play it through an emulator, the reverb's not really there.
I imagine the custom and Sonic sound chip is just not very well documented.
Yeah, and also they've got like a Motorola 68,000 for sound, which is very strange. I do have a real Taito F3, thanks to having a birthday and very kind friends. And then my birthday gift to myself was I bought an arcade cabinet.
You get that
Okay.
monitor flipped yet, or are you still playing sideways Poochie Carrot?
No, the monitor's flipped now. I even redid the control panel and everything. So, I can play Poochie Carrot whenever I want. I'll
Yeah,
often like power it up to play a few rounds of Poochie Carrot in between other stuff.
round 8 is started, Missing No. So we are in the middle of round 8.
Isn't that kind of redundant? I mean, 8 is like a round number already.
It is a pretty
It's-
round
Yeah.
number. It's a nice power of 2.
I was describing the numeral itself as being round. It's a round shape.
Unless you're using an old-timey digital clock, in which case it's a nice little rectangle.
That's true.
I suppose being
Hey,
a
we
power
should-
of 2 makes it more rectangular, actually.
What's going on in the game right now? I got too
We've done the
sidetracked.
thing where we commentate for too long and we just start turning it into the podcast.
Oh yeah, the tournament podcast segment. Tim Wild and Dekafumo seem to be pretty well coordinated. But also they seem both a little too afraid to do anything at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like they were having a staring match. I don't know if these two are on comms. Yeah, it looks like these two are on comms with each other, so maybe they were talking out what to do there.
Ah.
Deca
For those of
Fumo
you who are
is-
not in the for those of you who are not in the Puzzle Wednesday Discord, there are rooms set up for people to use to talk to their partners for these.
Oh, that's good.
Whew. So Deca Fumo finds his chain.
Oh, bit scary.
Oh,
Yep,
Tin
that
Wild
was
has to accept.
just enough. Yeah, Tin Wild didn't have anything there, it looked like.
So both players may be deliberating on strategies for the next credit.
I'm so glad we changed it so it moves to results immediately. Clue would have been sitting on the results screen that whole time instead of
Press start.
This is why it's beta. You wouldn't get stuff like this in a finished game. Of course, Petal Crash Online is not going to be finished in version 1.0 either. There's still a lot of stuff we want to add to it.
You'll have to save something for Petal Crash 2.
True. Petal Crash 2 is probably going to have online built in. I feel like that's pretty necessary. Instead of there being like another Petal Crash Online.
But
Since
yeah,
Petal
there
Crash is
are
like a
Oh, I was gonna say there are a handful of features that we want to add to this version of PCO that aren't going to be in 1.0 yet, like replay saving and playback. That did not make the cut, but that's going to be, I think, probably one of the first things we work on for. I don't know. Are we going to call it 1.1? I guess.
Yeah, new
Didn't
feature would
really
be
talk about
1.1.
that, but
The thing about Petal Crash is when I was making it, I had no idea if people would like it. And if people liked it, I had no idea what they would like about it. So I decided to like sort of focus my development efforts on whatever was like the most well received and whatever there was the most demand for, and that turned out to be online. So that's why Petal Crash Online was the thing I really wanted to make happen. And not necessarily like the Petal Crash Online puzzle editor database or anything like that. I really thought the puzzle editor was going to be more popular.
had a bit of a resurgence. I've seen people posting codes again recently.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
18 garbage.
There's a
That's
chain, but
lot.
it's trapped. Oh, there's even more!
Oh god.
Decafumo is
No,
toast.
I don't even see a delay.
There's... Wait,
There's one move you can make.
Yellow
Oh.
left, yellow left, yellow left, yellow left, yellow left. Okay,
I
the
see
blue
Now
what-
blue left,
I see
blue
what
left.
they're doing.
Oh.
They're just buying time.
Blue left is
blue
a
left
chain.
though, blue
Blue left is
though.
a chain.
But yeah, waiting is probably best.
Tin Wild, just like Tin Wilding out. Just trying to get as many points as possible.
Okay, okay. I don't see anything.
There's nothing left.
There's nothing left.
If you press scroll, the garbage comes as well.
Yes.
Yes. 3 seconds. Tin Wild got 3 seconds. Hey, did pretty well.
Hey, yeah, that was a good try.
Yeah. That was the strat, though. If you get locked out like that with a huge garbage pile, is to just delay for as long as possible.
So when you first made Petal Crash, how long did it take you to realize that there was stuff there, right? Because you can come up with rules, but if it's original, right, it's not immediately obvious that it's not trivial or and it's stuff like that. When did you realize that there might be something to it?
Uh, after it came out.
Oh my
Like
god.
the entire time I was making Petal Crash, like my biggest worry was like, I just haven't found the strategy that trivializes this whole game. Like people are gonna play this, they're gonna get their hands on it, and they're gonna solve it, and then they're gonna move on. Like that's what I thought was gonna happen.
The AI must have given you some amount of comfort.
Yeah, like as it went on in the beta, I started to feel a little bit more like, especially like once we nerfed the grow strategy with the spawn patterns, that was like the thing that was trivializing the game, and that was pretty well taken care of. I had no idea it would like remain competitive and that there would still be people finding new strategies like a year after it came out. So it is definitely a lot deeper than I thought. Like, I knew Petal Crash was gonna be something like original and special when I made the first prototype, because like I had this really bare bones prototype going. I just kept on like restarting it and trying to make chains in it. So I knew like a fun game could be made out of the idea, but I had no idea it would be like this, like strategically complex and deep.
Yeah, my biggest fear with a new concept would be, you give it a few hours and you don't figure out how to chain because it takes a while to learn, and you could just dismiss it as something, that's
Yeah.
not going to work.
That I accounted for that in the design by making it to where in the versus mode, chains were not necessary. Like just sliding the blocks around and clearing them was all that's required to win, unlike the easy mode. Like the tug of war bar, like doesn't care about chains at all for that reason.
Ooh, Amelia in a difficult spot here.
A difficult spot, as in she is
She's
doomed.
dead. Yeah.
Like there's actually not anything valid moves to make at all.
To 61,000. We didn't catch their first game. I'm assuming this is their second. So curious how they did.
People have been like spitballing ideas for like an alternative to like when you overgrow of some way if you keep playing, like your board resets and you lose some points or something.
Like a
For the
respawn.
yeah, for the like if in this tournament format that would make sense. But I think just for regular co-op when there's no like pressure to milk as much as you can out of every run.
Well, if you just respawn without much of a penalty, you could just milk that. Yeah, you wouldn't have to
Yeah,
coordinate.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like one player could just like overwhelm the other without consequence. And so the consequence has to be big enough to where you don't want to do it. But also if there's no pressure to get everything out of this run, if that happens, you could just like restart anyway. You could just consider it a dead run.
So we are coming up on round 9, the final round of our round robin here.
Ah.
And
The final round robin.
we have an upset in the
Oh.
standings. Raspberry
Oh.
Floof has taken the lead with 663,000.
Oh.
Rune is very, very close behind with 645,000. So
Wow.
that difference of 20,000, it's anyone's game, right? And then
Yeah, and Tinwile is only 6,000 behind Rune, only 4,000 behind. I mean, only for the
40,000 behind Rune. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's pretty good.
it's
But
honestly pretty close.
and then fourth place is Missing No, who's only like 14,000 behind Tinwell. So like there's a dense sequence of scores here. We're probably gonna see the standings mix it up a bit before the end.
But looking
Tinwile
at the
only has
look at the
one.
rounds,
Yeah, Tinwile only has one match left, and Rune and Raspberry Floof have 2.
Oh
No, wait. Oh yeah, Raspberry Floof is not done yet.
yeah,
well,
I'm
neither
thinking
is
of the
Rune.
bracket.
Neither is
All of
Rune.
round 8 is
Oh.
not
Okay.
reported yet.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, they're still at it in round 8.
And
So
it looks like
Raspberry
the
and
person with
Rune-
the person with the buy in round 9 is Missing No. So unfortunately, it seems like that 4th place is going to be the best that Missing No is going to be able to do.
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting. I mean, Amelia still has to get, 72,000 to pass him.
We'll see.
We'll see. It's far from certain. So let's see. Rune is tied up with Kowtow in the final round, but Raz is tied up with Solitaire. I'm so curious, is Rune going to pull out a miracle? Get a godlike score with Kowtow. That would be a sight to behold.
Yeah, I hadn't even considered like looking at who they're paired up with. Solitaire's a bit more experienced. So, but also like experience playing versus and single player doesn't correlate 1-1 to like co-op. Co-op kind of requires its own set of skills.
Kowtow in chat. He'll try his best. You got this, man.
Kowtow's been doing great.
Oh yeah. I hope you're enjoying the game.
Yeah.
It is nice that this format allows the newer, less experienced players to kind of mingle with the stronger players and not just die in 1 second necessarily.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
what I love about this format. That was on the top of my mind when I came up with it. I ran a Tetris the Grandmaster 2 doubles mode tournament in this format a couple months back. So it's cool to see it find other uses. So let's see if Rune and Solitaire, they're still at it in round 8.
Looks like they just reported.
Just reported. Okay. A 91,000. Ooh, unfortunately for Rune, that means Raspberry Floof gained on him in round 8.
Somebody also misreported the Trash Boat Runespism game. It was supposed to be 133, 250. GM level.
Oh, wow. So that is underreported.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, so much drama.
Oh, so
What?
it's
How is it
closer.
130? Okay, hold it. How's it 133? They literally posted a picture saying 11.
That was game 2.
Their no, first round was 74,200. Oh, sorry. Thinking current Trash Boat game. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
Oh, so that edit was enough to bring Rune back in the front. So we have Rune number 1, 789,000. Raspberry Floof in number 2, 776,000. So they're only
That's
separated
so
by 13,000. It's so close. And Rune's with Kowtow and Raz's with Solitaire in the final round. So this could really go any which way. But our stream schedule is neither match. It's Amelia and Decafumo. So coming up next, we will have Amelia and Decafumo. Amelia will be fighting for 4th place.
All right, looks like the players are on the cabinet.
Oh, they see got on the cabinet.
Oh, oops. How do I... There we go.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for Amelia to jump on.
Fumo might have to accept the challenge. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, good. I was going to say, it's getting increasingly tempting to watch Rune and Kowtow go at it.
We got the cool gradient again.
Amelia's like peachy orange color makes for really fun gradients with the colors that most of the other players are using.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would have noticed that if you didn't point it out, but it's really cool to see the different gradients now every time a new pair loads up.
It was really important to me that everybody get to pick like a color that represents them. I just think it's a fun little self-expression thing.
All right, let's see. Amelia building a pretty big chain.
Hmm. And Decafumo.
And possibly accidentally setting part of it off there. I'm not sure that was intentional.
Oh, that is kind of... It dumped garbage right in the middle of Decafumo's chain. So they're forced to set it off early, but they set it off so early. Amelia can't deal with it.
But Amelia's that green's a trigger for a decently sized chain, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact,
So
she's probably
green
waiting
down
to
there
get more.
should-
Yeah, she's waiting for
yeah,
more.
green-
Okay, that's
There
a
we go.
that's a good
Pretty
offset.
even. I really like the dynamic of this mode of like trying to aim for the most even counter. I feel like that's not a thing in any other mode. Like right there, Amelia had a huge chain ready, but took the smaller one to try and counter out the small amount that was coming in.
Mm-hmm. All right, now Amelia's sitting on
Like a
once
monster
again, a
chain.
huge chain.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and unfortunately didn't really have the luxury of delaying it either. So
20
So we gotta see if
garbage.
Dekapuma can
Takapumo's
survive.
in trouble here.
There's a way out of this. You move the blue to the left, purple to the left, or that.
Okay.
Okay, that works too.
All right.
Yeah, it never ceases to amaze me that you can Houdini out of like the craziest situations in Petal Crash.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I put in the tutorial that even if the situation looks really scary, there's usually a way out. So I want people to, like, realize that even if, like, you have a really intimidating amount of garbage on your board, it's, like, not the end.
Yeah, just never give up, people.
Yeah. I've seen some pretty big reversal games. Some really big comebacks. Especially in the tournaments.
I was going to say, especially in Puzzle Wednesday, we've seen a few.
Mm-hmm. I've seen Rune get out of some stuff that no mortal should be able to get away with.
I think that's the one place where humans have a pretty major advantage over my AI is in digging situations like that. The AI is not optimized for the situation where you have to dig in a way that takes like 3 or 4 moves to unlock yourself.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing that I wanted to put in that we didn't have time for.
Yeah, there's like some support in the code for if you're in a bad situation, the AI can look ahead an extra move. But looking ahead 3 moves is so computationally expensive and so slow that I didn't want it to be something that the AI was like doing really often. But
yeah, and since then I've had other ideas for how I could have made it more efficient for that kind of scenario. But the game had shipped, the ship had sailed.
The game has to come out.
So it's like a depth 3 tree search type of deal going on, or what is it?
Basically, it's usually depth 2.
Yeah.
Depth 2 is usually sufficient. Because of the way building chains in Petal Crash works, like, if it can see it can put a chain together in 2 moves, once it gets there, it'll look ahead and see it can expand the chain, etc., etc. And that usually lets it put together some pretty wild stuff.
So considering how dicey that was for a moment, I'm surprised and impressed that they got to 30 seconds left. That was a really good effort.
Yeah.
So, Jill, when are we getting Skull 2?
Next time there is a new Petal Crash game.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna involve Jill from the very start if there's a new Petal Crash game. And it'll be in an engine where she can code in something that isn't JavaScript.
Oh dear lord. Okay.
Yep, because original Petal Crash was made in Construct, I had to write the AI in JavaScript, which was then ported to C for the like native compiled version, but
there's probably different ways you could have structured it if you were writing it in C natively.
Yeah, if I had written it natively in something other than JavaScript, I probably would have done many things differently.
There's also a lot of things I could have.
I'm impressed that the guy who did the native ports was able to take that JavaScript and just port it so easily.
Yeah, didn't need any involvement from Jill at all. Another thing that can improve it is when I make a new Petal Crash, I can program the game logic more efficiently, because the way the Petal Crash works is very inefficient. It like iterates over the entire board so many times in a move. There's like a lot of savings you can get, and oh
no.
Oops.
Amelia, too powerful.
Too strong, too strong.
Too strong.
Truly worthy of the death quote.
To answer Jowser in the chat, Petal Crash Online is not JavaScript.
Petal Crash Online
was
Petal Crash
originally.
Online is coded in C.
Yes.
Not C++, not C#. C.
Nova's a sicko.
Nova is a bit of a sicko.
There's nothing
Nova's
wrong
used
with
to
C.
coding for like. There's nothing wrong with C, but Nova is used to coding for like retro platforms. So making Petal Crash Online in bare C with SDL is a very like I'm used to coding for Super Nintendo kind of move, as far as I know.
And there we have it. Petal Crash for Game Boy Color, announced here on stream.
No, it isn't. Don't announce things for me.
Didn't you see the fine print in the trailer?
Yeah, it says not a real Game Boy Color game.
Aw. Well, it looks like
Huh.
Kowtow and Dekafumo are still going at it. Or, sorry, Kowtow and Rune.
Let's go have a look at
Let's
that.
see, they got 2 minutes left. Let's see, have they posted a first game score? Okay, they
Mysticism.
posted 59,400 on their first game, so they're pretty close to passing it here.
Rune delaying a move.
Just with a 2-chain. Very gentle.
Uh-oh. It's a little dicey. That's only a 3-chain. Or that's only a 4-chain. It has a branch, though. The branches can be kind of nasty. Rune's just like letting as much garbage pile up from the little chains from Kowtow for as long as possible.
When you get to the level of Rune, you've basically learned to calculate garbage on the fly for any chain that you have. If you're looking to do that, whether to get better at co-op or whatever, I advise you to learn the magic numbers, which are 3, 5, 8, and 12. That's the amounts of garbage sent by Bear, 2, 3, 4, and 5 chains, respectively.
Oh.
And then usually once you go past 5, you add 5 garbage for every 4 petals on the chain.
Man, I can't even count to 5, and you're telling me bigger numbers exist?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
We've seen some numbers in this game. We've seen
That'll do
60
it.
Oh, wow.
sometimes.
It was higher than last round. Was it?
I think so.
Yes, that was their higher score.
Alright. It's all up to Raspberry Floof. Oh, I love this quote for Yasodi, though. Ah, it skipped. Finally got to make
Well,
it
the
two left
version
feet joke.
everyone's playing today doesn't have the synced up quotes yet. So,
Oh my goodness.
But there's only one quote in co-op.
oh right, there's only one for co-op.
It's a nail biter. I'm gonna have to wait for the math to actually happen to know who won this.
Let's see. So it looks like Raz and Solitaire have already reported.
Yeah, they got 85,700.
That might be enough.
I think it's just barely enough.
It's 6,000 points enough.
Ooh.
Wow! That is close.
Yeah. So unless Tin Wild and Trashboat put in a completely miraculous showing,
Over
that is-
20,000. 20.
that-
Oh my god.
Over 200,000.
yeah,
over
that is
two.
our top two locked in there. Almost certainly. It could happen. Maybe.
I think the world record is like 190,000 and change.
That's before we paired
It's
up Trashboat and Tinwell.
199,000 by Rune and Raz. Yeah.
Oh, that's close.
So this has turned out to be a very competitive format. I hope people keep playing it because it's fun. You get to greed for huge chains. Who doesn't like that?
We're not gonna run out of weird new ways to play Petal Crash Online anytime soon, especially with Nova on board.
Kowtow, you didn't fail Rune. He failed to get you the win. That's you got to think about it that way for sure.
A 6-color tug of war bracket could be really interesting. Another thing I've been having fun playing, like with Raspberry Floof every now and then in beta testing, is Trash Attack, but you can push the garbage. it makes it really interesting because garbage is still really troublesome and you can still get knocked out by it, but it's a lot easier to dig out if you can like move it out of the way.
When you push the garbage, does it move like ice style, or does it just move one space?
It moves like any other block, but
Okay.
it doesn't match with anything usually.
Okay.
You can set it to match with itself and blow up, but that's like a very chaotic option.
Oh dear God, yeah. Okay, we got a very strong score coming in from Tin Wild and Trash.
And I think that's our final report as soon as that's
Yeah, 101,
put into the
850.
bracket.
This is a really interesting format.
There we go.
Very cool.
All right, well, there's our final standings.
So a
All right, you
near...
wanna run through these?
Yeah, in first place, we have our Puzzle Wednesday regular Raspberry Floof with 862,000 points.
Yeah.
A nail biter, second place, close behind. We have Rune.
I think Raspberry Floof hasn't won a tournament yet, and I think she deserves it.
Oh, absolutely. Raz is no, Raz has won Wario's Woods at the very least. She's extremely dominant at Wario's Woods.
Oh,
Yep.
I was talking about Petal Crash tournament specifically.
Ah, okay. Third place, we have Tin Wild, 709,000 points. Trash Boat with an incredible 640,000 points exactly, taking fourth place. Missing No, fifth place with 593. Amelia with 585. Solitaire with 457. Decafumo with 434. And Kowtow with 393. All in all, some great games played by everybody.
Yeah, everybody did great.
Curious here, a little stat I like to look in on is who scored the best with Kowtow, with the lowest ranked player, because that's an interesting skill to point out. Let's see, Missing No got 65,000. And that's the best. So
Rune did 67 in that last round.
Oh, 67. Okay. So that's very cool. I still think it's cool that Missing No, even down in fifth place, you know, he's got a feather in his cap. He squeezed out a really good score with Kowtow.
Yeah. Like,
Had a number of GM ranked performances this time as well, like the aforementioned Rune Trash Boat 133. Missing No and Rune did 149.
140 is the real cutoff. 140 is the real cutoff.
Oh, was it 140 or
Yeah.
130?
It's
There's a-
140.
there's a bug.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
bug that
The
shifts
version
all
that
the
everyone's
ranks.
still playing is bugs that shifted them all by one.
Well, Missing No and Rune did 149, and was it Rune and Raz did 160? So pretty.
It's interesting to
good
note
so
that
far.
like co-op performance, it like correlates with like overall skill, but not precisely. Like there's a lot of really
not killing your friend is very hard.
yeah, that's like
Really hard.
it's the rest of the modes are all about killing your friend as efficiently as possible. So having a mode that's all about not doing that kind of turns it on its head. Petal Crash, like a lot of indie puzzle games I've noticed are like very like chilled out aesthetic experiences. But Petal Crash is like extremely stressful. Petal Crash is blood sport.
Don't let the cute presentation fool you. You will be going for blood.
Well, before we say goodnight to everyone, I think we should take a moment just for anyone who may have missed it on the break. We do have a couple cool announcements and plugs. We have coming to Steam. If you want to reiterate, we have
Petal Crash Online is going to be launching on Steam, included with the base game, October 12th.
so look
So
out for
in
that.
6 days.
And that's also the
Cool.
1 year anniversary of Petal Crash. If you can believe it, we've all been crashing for 1 year.
1 year of Petal Crash. It's been 2.5 years for me.
Oh goodness.
Well, Petal Crash, from inception of the idea to the release of the game, was almost exactly a year and a half.
And shortly after the Steam release, we have a major tournament coming up. Not just a Puzzle Wednesday tournament. We are the hosts, but it is part of Quarterly Rapport. So be sure to check that out. Especially combined with the Steam release, we're expecting to see lots of intense competition coming in from a wider audience than before. So definitely check it out. We see Amelia, thank you for the link in chat.
There's a lot of things happening for Petal. Sorry.
Big yawns. Here,
Yeah.
I've got the link to the tweet about Quarterly Rapport, and there's also it's linked in that tweet, but there's also a Google Doc with the details on every game being run. And those are running on, what was that, the weekend of November 12th through 14th. And Petal Crash is on that Saturday the 13th.
We're being encircled. Oh, we're in left. Well, this has really been Petal Crash.
Definitely.
Maybe the real friends were the pedals we crashed along the way.
True. I'm really grateful for the community and all of the people who play this game and all the people who care about it.
Thank you so much for crashing our pedals.
Yes, and thank you so much for making the pedals, Ashley and
You're
Jill.
welcome.
Crash with us another time.
Thank you,
Also,
Jill, for
shoutouts.
rollback.
Yeah, and shoutouts to Nova, who is not with us on commentary tonight, but Nova was the other dev of Petal Crash Online who set all the groundwork. I kind of came in later and did stuff on top of what Nova had done, but Nova is the reason this project was able to, come off the ground as fast as it did. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
I'm very grateful for all the help I've gotten and all the people who play this game. Petal Crash is not my game, it's all of yours. I just happen to be here. And I invented it. I'm very clear, I'm taking credit for inventing it, but you all made it very special.
Well, this has been Petal
yeah.
Crash, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks to all the players for making this community what it is. Everyone go play Petal Crash. Have a good night.
Good night.